Hi, I'm Kat. I play Sims and I renovated this apartment for a single sim with an infant. The floor plan was quite simple. It was a very small apartment. I wanted to match the windows, but I couldn't quite do it, so I got two from Parenthood and one from Life and Death just to make it a little bit similar. The walls in the bedroom and bathroom were both from Parenthood, and I used a businesses and hobbies wall stucco and the wooden floors everywhere else. And the bathroom tile was from Growing Together. I ended up with quite a light pink colour scheme in here in the end. It wasn't what I intended in the first place, but once I started putting in floors and tiles and things, it just turned out that way, so I ended up leaning into it. I used quite a bit of CC in this build. The fridge is from Kitchen Clutter and the hood is from Growing Together, but the bulk of the kitchen counters and stuff like that is actually CC because I had a set that was a really nice pink shade. I really don't know why I leaned so hard into this colour palette from the start, but I just sort of went with it, and everything did turn out like really cute. I put up some upper cabinets from the same CC set that I used for the lowers, and then I put in a kitchen clutter sink and some CC shelves with a few bits of clutter. A lot of this was custom content, but I used the horse ranch pots and pans on the wall. I put up some artwork, and then the usual little post and keys shelf from the Everyday Clutter kit. I got a chopping board from Cool Kitchen, and then I put out some little items. There was a Kitchen Clutter cereal boxes and the oven gloves, and I put out a little custom coffee cup with biscuits next to it. And then I moved on to the entryway, so I grabbed a mirror from Kids Room Stuff, I think it is, and the Cozy Kitsch lamp. I moved over the wall clutter to the other side of the door, and then I put in the Comfy Gamer set of shelves. I put in a Parenthood dining table, and then I gave it chairs that were custom content as well as a high chair that was custom content as well, and I turned towards filling the shelves by the door. A lot of this was custom content items as well, but I got some odd bits like a pop-up book from Little Campers and the post item from Grange Mudroom. I put a little base game backpack on the floor behind the mirror, and then I added more clutter to the insides of the shelves. Just big items that I could really fill it up with, and I made sure everything was sitting nicely. I decided to make the bedroom ever so slightly bigger, and then I used the Pride bed in there again because that is one of my favourites. I used a high school year's side table and a custom content crib facing the bed. I put up the shelf from Growing Together with the baby stuff on it, and I used the Storybook Nursery mobile over the crib as well in a lighter colour. I put in the high school years rug and just sized it up a little bit, and then I grabbed the Storybook Nursery toy box as well, but I do end up moving that. I started out by putting a desk in here which was custom content with a pastel pop chair, but I did put that out into the living room at some point. I put in the Cozy Gamer book on the side table, a little custom content pillow, and then I added the Grange Mudroom bag. I quickly put in a coat stand out at the front, and then I added nail polishes and a few bits of clutter to the various surfaces in the bedroom. I always have multiple full-length mirrors in a build, so I put in a custom one that was pink with a backlight. I grabbed a little cottage living plant for the table and put one in the corner of the bedroom. And then I got a custom rug for beside the bed and sized it down a little bit so it didn't interfere with the other one. I put up custom content artwork in here. I think they are like Valentine's Day themed, the ones I end up using, but they were a nice pink and matched the room. I put a big stuffed cat in the corner, and I thought about putting in some other toys, but in the end I needed to rearrange some stuff because I didn't have a changing table. So the toy box went out in the living room space and the crib moved into the corner. I was pretty sure this was a barely functional setup, but I left it for the moment and I decided to go out in the living room after I'd put up some artwork. So I did move the toy box out there, and I tried scooting the corner in the bedroom around a little bit. I used a bright pink TV stand from Kids Room Stuff, and I just put a normal small TV on it. I grabbed the Cozy Kitsch sofa and a movie hangout table, and I wound up changing the colour of the TV stand as well because I'd gone with a pale wood in the end. I used a bookcase from Kids Room Stuff as well, and then I ended up moving the desk in the bedroom out and putting in a dresser in its place. I probably should have changed where the changing table was, but I wanted the dresser. I put in some Comfy Gamer seats in the corner, and I moved the toy box again. And I just put out some clutter and a Wabbit tablet. I used the dollhouse from Storybook Nursery near the door, And I just got a little playmat that was custom content and scattered some different toys around the floor, mostly in that pink and purple colour scheme because I'd really leaned into it at this point. And then I used the little campers quilted rug in the living room. The walls felt really blank, so I just put in another window with some base game curtains. And then I put in a little sort of stuffy toy box in the corner and moved things around so that there was a little bit more clutter everywhere, because I thought, there'd be stuff everywhere if I had an infant. I added a radiator from For Rent and I put up a few bits of custom content artwork, including baby prints and an ultrasound. I put up a blank family photo and just a little rug in front of the sink. I added a plant in the corner and a custom content bit of artwork, and then I finally moved on to the bathroom. I used the shower tub combo from Parenthood with the elephants on it, and I used Tiny Living for the sink and the toilet because I needed room to fit in a toddler potty as well, and it was a very small bathroom. I just added some bath mats and stuff and sized them down to fit the space a little bit better. I used a few bits of clutter as usual, the typical bathroom stuff, towels and soaps and things, and then I put up another mirror from Parenthood and lifted that a bit with tool mod. I used the Tiny Living shelf above the toilet and the Growing Together colourful towels because I always feel like they fit these builds better. I added a cats and dogs doormat, and from there I was done, so enjoy the screenshots. Please consider a like and subscribe.